Hello, everyone. Another Stargods vlog. I'm too sexy for my should. It hurts. Get it off me. So yeah, I gotten complaints that I get a little too out of hand, right, and that I need to slow down. We need to get a white shirt and a tie and be respectable, have a reputation. Are you kidding? I couldn't care less about a reputation. That means responsibility. I don't want that. Who cares? So people have been kind of saying, well, you need to cool down a bit because you're so hyper wired. Well, too bad. But I will be cutting back on the videos because my videos are too deep and they're not well liked. If some of you have a goodness in your heart and have the email address to YouTube, I would appreciate it if you complain to YouTube asking why my subscription list has been frozen for at least a year now. Make them aware that you're aware. So, yeah, this video is going to be deep. So I have a warning right now. This video is going to be deep. This is part 2 of Welcome to Planet Westworld. Okay? So, if you can't handle the deepness, can't handle knowledge, you can't handle thinking, can't handle speculation, then please leave right now. Okay, so now I was getting into the first part how we are planet Westworld because we are biological cyborgs, I guess, or not. I guess no, cyborgs, I have to say robot. Cyborgs are metal with skin and flesh on top. So I'll stick with robots. We are robots, and we are here to suffer. The elite like to feed off of our negative energy, which is depression, anxiety, and such. And it's called loosh. And they love the loosh, okay? The archons are they are created by the Jewish god Jehovah, according to Gnostic Christianity. I'm just giving you that if you want to look things up. Gnostic Christianity has a lot of scriptures uploaded at gnosis.org, I think. Gnosis.org. And so, anyways, they believe that we're cattle. They believe that we're cattle. We're here to feed. What was it? What was the purpose of Westworld? Corporate elite could decide, hey, yeah, I'm gonna get into a western. So they go to this town, Westworld, which it was created by Robert Ford. And in this town, they could wear the garments, have the guns, and they could shoot and kill anybody they wanted, rape any women they wanted, pedophile any child they wanted, without any, judgment, without any court arrest, nothing. That's what they paid for. They paid for the violence to have. They would go to the town for maybe couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and they could do literally everything they wanted. And these robots were so real, you can't tell the difference. And we are biological robots. Instead of steel ribs, we got ribs made of calcium. We have a whole structure made of solid, hard calcium. We are biological robots, and we are controlled and programmed through our DNA, which is crystalline substance, which can download wavelengths and broadcast wavelengths. So the archons, the rulers of this world, they They love to watch us suffer because then they get the food. They draw the lower energy of anxiety, depression, and all this, and they use it as food. This is their vibrational energy food drink. So what they do, their objectivity is, or that's not a word to be using, their object goal, their agenda. How about that? Thank you, Doctor. I did good, didn't I? Their agenda is to make us suffer, to give us a world of misery, depravity, unbelievable evil, so that we are broken down and we broadcast tons of energy fields of fear, depression, anxiety, and they feed off us. So their objective in this world is to make this world as rotten, as horrifying, as just so that we can just suffer. This is why the world is like this. This is not a happy world. You get people to say, "Oh yeah, things are getting so much better." I know people like that, and boy, do I run from them. I see them in a grocery store. Woo! I'm under the counter. Do. I don't want anything to do with them. So we are here to be exploited for our lower energies, and they create this environment and they want to crunch it down. And everybody, you got to understand that they have main goal, that like the New World Order has a main goal, but there's also a lot of factions that are at war with each other. So some of them want to do this, some of them want to do that, and we're in a time where they're sorting out who the king rulers are, and that's the archons. So yeah, and then when the robots are shot or raped to death or whatever, they go back to the shop. They're put back together again, and they're out to do their programmed journey. Okay, and they're programmed to be doctor or lawyer or whatever, to do this in life, to do that. But some of them die, and they go back to the shop and they say, "Well, enough of this role. Well, what is he? Oh, he's a clerk. Okay, we'll turn him into a politician or something or whatever." So the thing is, I got to do this very quickly here. See, already 8 minutes. So the thing is, it sounds like reincarnation, doesn't it? It sounds a lot like creation. All the cultures of all the ancient times believed in reincarnation. Christianity was the only one that didn't believe in reincarnation, and because of that, segments relating to reincarnation were snipped out, censored, kept out of the Bible. The Bible, the Word of God, the inerrant Word. Yeah, well, let's not go there. Ooh, this will be a 3-hour video. If you want to know, like, look it up in the Bible, and you'll see in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Well, the actual translation is not heavens; it's heaven, because there's a dome above the flat plane. And I don't care if you can handle that or not. I don't really care. All the ancient spiritual cultures of the past millenniums all believed that there was a dome over a flat earth. So, but we won't go there. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Well, that's God. That's God. Well, what they did is they took. Paul Wallace gets into this a lot. It's the creation story of Adam and Eve and the flood and all these Bible stories, all taken from clay tablets, where they were written, handwritten knowledge on clay tablets that survived. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Excuse me. And they're the same as the Bible, basically, but they were created 6,000 years prior to the writing of the Old Testament. The Old Testament is basically plagiarism from the Sumer Empire. The Sumerians had written this knowledge on clay tablets. And it was all scientific information. It was like a documentary. It had nothing to do with God or gods or anything. But then the Jewish controllers took it in, then implanted God into it to make it all spiritual. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. That's what they did. They put that in. But the word for God is Elohim, which is plural, and nobody can deny this fact. It's plural. So what it is the true translation is, in the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the... No, I need a trap door, baby. It says, in the beginning, gods created the heaven and the earth. Okay, so gods, plural. And Paul Wallace says that it actually means the strong ones. I tend to disagree. I think there's more evidence for the shining ones. The shining ones are the reptilians. They were always known as the shining ones. The gods were always known as the shining ones. You know, there's a lot of research online. You could just get right into it. So who were these shining ones? Who were the gods? Well, we now know from this cuneiform text. Is that what you say? Cuneiform? Yeah. This knowledge has now come to be surfaced. And we now know that these gods were the Anunnaki, and which there's a strong connection between the Anunnaki and the Anunnaki and the archons. What's in this thing? What's in this thing? Read the label. So the archons are the fallen angels, I guess you'd say. It's not a really great term, but it's a good term, of Jehovah, who he created. He is the chief, according to Gnostic Christianity, he's the chief archon. He's the chief evil one. And that's no surprise, because you find in the Bible where it says, in Jehovah out of his own mouth says he creates the day of evil. He creates evil. He sends lying spirits to people. He is... what was the other thing he claims? Anyways, all the nasty stuff he claims to be the producer of such. So anyway, now you have the Anunnaki, and they came down to the earth. They say, oh, well, they have this cover story, but their planet's atmosphere, I think it's a cover, I'm pretty sure it's a cover story. But anyways, their atmosphere, well, they're interdimensional. They're not from planet. The planets are portals to other space and time habitations. Okay, so if you want to go to Venus, you go to the portal Venus and go to Venus. And so, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, the gold. It was they needed gold to mine gold for their broken atmosphere. Their broken atmosphere was shot. It was finished. So they needed to mine gold. No, they needed to mine gold because gold, especially white powder gold, I think you call it, it has interdimensional qualities. So time and space are affected by it. This is why they wanted the gold. They didn't want it to fix their atmosphere. That was a little fib, you know. It was a white lie. It was a good lie because they didn't want to have mankind alerted to the fact that gold is interdimensional. It's an interdimensional substance. No, 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 don't let them know that. So they came down and they began to rule over, as India says, the Nagas, which was the serpent kings and queens, the reptilians. They don't come from Draco. They come from there through a portal. Draco is not in our reality. It's not in our dimension. So they started ruling over us, ruling over mankind. And then, as you see in Westworld, Robert Ford, who created the town of robots, created church. He thought that would be a better idea to gain more control over them. But the thing is, he also wanted to raise the consciousness of like, well, I think it started with Dolores. He wanted to raise the consciousness. And this is what the good reptilians, the reptilians of wisdom, I forget the actual name now. True reptilian wisdom want to raise their consciousness, and so what they're doing is putting truth out, truth bombs in movies now, big, big, big time. The Truman Show was a truth bomb. Dark City was a truth bomb. Vanilla Sky, a truth bomb. Those movies you have to see, or don't pretend to know everything. Because these are key elements in the foundation of knowledge. So what the reptilians have done is everything that you think is truth is a lie and a fabrication. There is no truth. There are no atoms. There's no nuclear bombs. There's no virus. Virus doesn't exist. That's been absolutely proven in 1918. But they use it for fear and for nutrition. They get out their old big gold straws and, you know, and they keep us down. They're slavers. They're slave owners. And the thing is, if you have a slave who gains knowledge, it's no longer a slave, or he or she is no longer a slave. That's bad Ingy. Bad Ingy. I would be, you know, if I was back in time, I would be Shakespeare's worst nightmare. My Ingy, isn't it? Yeah. So I think it's all going to come to an end, unless we increase our level of consciousness. They don't care about our physicalness. They don't care about healing us. They don't care about saving us. They just want to raise our consciousness, because when we die, we'll go to a higher level. And we'll get beyond the cosmic parole board that's up there, you know, as outlined by Forever Conscious Research channel on YouTube. Everybody seems to die. The ones that aren't going to make it, they go to this parole board and they're told to go back. They say, "Oh no, God doesn't want you to. God has a mission for you. Go back." Okay, or go back. Your grandmother needs you. You don't want. And some of them fight. They go. They feel the love, the intense love and serenity and peace, and they go, "I'm not going back. I'm not going back." And they end up going back because their wavelength isn't high enough to get past the parole board, the spiritual parole board. And they'll get things like your relatives. They'll appear as your relatives, the archons. They'll appear as Jesus Christ or Jesus H. Christ. He's got a twin. And no, you must go back, you must go back. And they're so loving and caring. But when you say you're not going back, their nerves tend to go. You can see them getting more and more aggressive, more and more pushy, and you did this and you do that. You got to go back and make amends through incarnation, or just wake up on the operating table. But the archons are in control. They are the Anunnaki. So I'd say archons / Anunnaki. I used to just kind of roll my eyes when people mention the Anunnaki, but now I've really, really researched them, and I'm going. But every bit of truth is based on lies and fabrications, and that goes for everything, including the Bible. Including the Bible. The Bible is well, you can just start with things like the Apostle Paul was an antichrist. Just start there. That'll whoa, he'll be talking backwards, from the shock, because the information is very in depth. Then that gives you a little opening to other information and more information on different topics, and blah blah blah. But I think it's the serpents of wisdom, the good serpents, because they're not all bad. They're not all evil. I know that from firsthand experience. They're not all evil. They want to develop our consciousness. They want to develop our consciousness. So I think they are the ones that put out all this flat earth stuff. Because you can say what you want about flat earth, but it really got people to get out of the box and look around and ask real questions. You know what I mean? So they want to raise our consciousness, and then the more our consciousness is raised, well, the more we're going to overcome this world. This is a very sick, disgusting, pathetic, evil, malevolent, evil world where the Jewish God Jehovah, who's supposed to be in charge, who is loving and caring, does nothing. And this is what I always think. I have to laugh at this. On the days of creation by the great Jewish God Jehovah, on the days of creation, on what day did he create entropy? This is what I ask people, and they just go blank. What day? Entropy is it's decay, basically, is what it is, where things go from a usable state to an unusable state. You're a teenager and you're strong, and in 30, 40 years, you're just going to disintegrate and die. And then you're going to just turn black and purple and provide a great meal for the maggots. What a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Yeah, right. So, one day did God create, now I say that's not God, the Father of Jesus. No, that's a different story altogether. That's the true God. Jehovah's a wannabe God. On what day did he create? On what day of creation did he create decay? Basically, the law of decay. Put a nice Cadillac in the bush, come back in 50 years, it's completely decayed and destroyed. It's destruction. It's destruction. On what day did he create? On the days of creating life on Earth, when did he create the poisonous snakes? On what day? Entropy. Okay, flies and vultures. He created flies and vultures. So he knew that all before Adam and Eve, he knew what was going to happen, and he decided he was going to kill everything off, make everything short-lived, and when Adam and Eve came, keep them away from the tree of life in the garden, ban them, threaten them. Anyways, I don't want to get on the subject of the Jewish God Jehovah, because it's a very, very, very easy. When you get on the subject of the Bible and what's wrong with it, it's endless. It's an endless sea. And it can't be explained in a couple hours here, a couple hours there. So I think we live on planet Westworld. Look at today. There's no accountability. There's no justice. People can do anything they want. I saw in the news where a man beat and raped this woman to death, and he got out on bail. And then it was overthrown because the judge threw out the evidence. Sounds like another Trump thing, eh? And Trump, don't kid yourself. Trump is a part of the plan. He's the good cop in the good cop, bad cop agenda. Okay? Everything's going to plan. I look in the news and I go, yeah, this is all there. It's all there. Everything, all the ducks are put there in order. And so the story of the Anunnaki was kind of like a scientific report where the Jews or scribes or Pharisees or whatever word you want to use took it. It was created 6,000 years prior to the Old Testament. Took it, wrote it out, turned it religion, and then gained control of all the people of the earth. Gained spiritual control, because when you control the spirit, you control the mind. The spirit is mind. They took it over and they ruled. So Robert Ford does that. The leader of Westworld. Hey, I'm doing good time here. The leader of Westworld does that. Creates religion and all that. And it's interesting because Westworld was created by a corporate elite who Robert Ford worked for. So in this Westworld, the real Westworld, who runs it? Jehovah. Now, Michael Heisner, a really brilliant, well-educated, what do you call him, theologian or scholar, really shows from the actual language, Jehovah is part of a council. And this is what it was in Westworld, TV Westworld. Ford was part of a council. He ran everything. He was the CEO, but he represented Jehovah, the creator, because he created Westworld. Anyways, there was a corporation and it had a board, and they decided the future of Westworld. And our future has been battled over. Look up Paul Wallace, very informative about the early wars of the gods, the wars of the gods, where they fought each other over power, and they're all... but now they scratch each other's back just so that they can get ahead, eh? Now, this corporation was called Delos. Delos. That was the TV... have another drink and burp more. That was the TV show. Now, in the real world, the real Westworld is run by corporations. Corporations that are called Davis. D-A-V-O-S. Dallas Davis. Coincidence? Is that a coincidence? And from what I gather from the Bible, it talks about the control board of Jehovah is found in the sides of the north, quote and unquote, the sides of the north. That's where Jehovah's power base is. Isn't that amazing? And now we discover that, because I never knew it before, and I just discovered, you're not allowed to explore South Pole or North Pole. They have military up there. run by all the nations on the earth. All the nations agree nobody's going to go to the North Pole. And yet it says in the Bible that the seat of power, if you, a throne, if you like, is in the sides of the north. It resides in the sides of the north. And we're not allowed to go there. We discovered that through the flat earth information because people wanted to go up there and check everything out, and they were sent back. I've seen several news reports of guys in boats trying to investigate, and they were kicked out. Front page media news. You know, it wasn't conspiracy theories and all that. And conspiracy people are deceivers. You know, they're Decepticons. And they know how to deceive and get paid, you know. Okay, next month I want you to go for $10,000. Okay, so this is literally pretty good timing. Literally Westworld. This is an updated version of Westworld in the real world. This is the real world. And they have made sure to destroy all history, all knowledge, everything you know of health, geophysics, astronomy, everything, disease, everything is a lie. I challenge you to prove me wrong. It's a lie. I don't even believe that atoms exist. I don't believe it. Everything is a lie. Did you know that Tesla and a few other very famous scientists rejected the idea of electrons, the existence of electrons? Tesla said there's no such thing as electrons. Yet everything you study in technology, it's about the electron, and this atom releases this electron, and the atomic bomb is based on, well, the release splits the atom and then releases these electrons, which split that and blah, 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 blah. They didn't even know if it was going to be contained, a nuclear explosion, but it wasn't a nuclear explosion. There's a lot of documentation showing and indicating, strongly indicating, that what you saw was TNT, millions of tons of TNT set. And what was their excuse? Oh, we're testing, you know. So if we blow up a bomb at a test site and the island disappears, we're going to work it out. Well, that's 10,000 kilotons. That's how they gauge the power of the real nuclear weapons. Anyways, we know nothing about anything. Not about health. Viruses don't exist. Harmful bacteria doesn't exist. We're learning now because the serpents of wisdom are enlightening us, giving us downloads of information, and that's what it's all about. Everything you know is a lie, and look, what's his name? Anyways, I won't talk about that because I can't remember half of that story. But yeah, there have been Roger Ilbert. Look up his last words. He said everything is fake, basically. But anyways, the Anunnaki, the archons, are here to absolutely lower our energy so that we produce loosh, and lots of loosh, until they're just, you know, they want to kill us, make us suffer, they want to destroy us, and they want to keep our numbers down so that they have a good ranch, okay? They have a ranch that they can control. If you have, let's say, 5,000 cattle on your ranch, if they decide to wake up and stampede, you're finished. You're finished. The harm that they could do, they could tear down the whole ranch. But they got to keep the population down, so maybe they'll have 50 cows. Much easier, much easier to control, you know. And there's a time of change happening, but I won't get into that because it's a little too serious to talk about. So, anyways, there you go. So, I hope you liked it. And if you want, and if you got the email address to YouTube, say, why is Stargods' subscription rate frozen? So that they make you make them aware that people are onto it, eh? Because they've frozen me now for about a year. I'm about to kind of drag back because it's kind of a lot of trouble and a lot of high blood pressure. Son of a, you know what I mean? So, what can I tell you anymore? I would seriously contend the worship of Jehovah, because the Gnostics say that Jehovah is actually Satan. It's actually the chief devil. So if that's true, then Christianity has, by proxy, gets everybody away from the true God, the Father Jesus, to the Jewish God of wrath, vengeance, and war, and worship him, who is apparently the devil, according to the Gnostic Christians. So by proxy, you worship Satan through Christianity. The true God, the one God, the immense God that is beyond Jehovah, is the Father God that put forth Jesus. That's a long story too. So, anyways, I'll end this. Jesus was teaching about, and Jesus went head to head in breaking Jehovah's laws and Sabbath, broke Sabbath several times. Well, that's why he was nailed to a cross. And this whole forgiveness of sin is another different story. That's part of the control system, along with the lake of fire. It's part of the control system. God the Father will forgive you of any sin if you go with a broken heart and ask God, Father God, for forgiveness. And what he'll do is he'll tell you, you are forgiven, go forth and sin no more. It doesn't revolve around a blood-letting human sacrifice ritual. Okay? I won't get into that. It's going to really spin people out of control. So, and most of the world, I think about 80% of the population has been replaced. I've got personal experience with replacements. I know it's true. Because these people will just go like those little wooden dogs in the back of the car window to everything, you know. So, and there is no accountability today. They can do anything they want. They can invoke a law where the military can come in and to your door without a warrant and rape all your children, and people would go, oh, that's not right. And they whine and they talk and they talk, and they'd have programs on CNN tonight. Is it ethical for the military to be involved? You know, what do you say, Frank? Well, I think yes. I think it does provide a lot of benefits and blah 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 blah. You know, like it just drives me nuts, because it's just so fake. Look at Trump. Just talk. Well, we'll see what Trump's made of. Now we're going to see what Trump's made of. And if he's made out of something and goes against the agenda, I'll mention it. I'll bring it back up. But so far, I think he's part of the agenda. So there you go. And I shouldn't use his name on YouTube. So that's the end. I don't think I'll have a part 3. I think I got everything together. look up and research the Anunnaki, and don't fall for that cover story that they're here for the gold because they need to fix their atmosphere. No, gold is interdimensional, which is a big clue that gives it away. They are interdimensional. They are in control. They've always been in control. Nothing you have ever thought has been your thought. You know, you have never had any control over your life. You've been taught a false reality over and over and over again till you'll die for that reality. No decision you have ever made has been your own. You've been conditioned, mind controlled since day one, and most of the world is under Stockholm Syndrome. That's basically the religion of this world, Stockholm Syndrome, which the Bible not only produces but promotes Stockholm Syndrome. I'm just being honest with you. I don't have an axe to bear. I'm not trying to chop you to shred you. I'm just trying to be honest because honesty is a rare virtue in this world right now. So thank you for listening, and I hope you didn't find it too deep. And if you did find it too deep and you're kind of a little ticked off, well, then don't come back. Okay, thank you very much.